Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back to my channel. Today I did this fun hot red, hot pink makeup look today for you guys. New here, I'm Kendra. I post 3 beauty/lifestyle videos a week, and if you want to subscribe to see all of them, then just subscribe because I'd love to have you join the fam. And also, if you'd like to check out my social medias, they'll be on the screen right here as well as listed down below in the description box. I do have a giveaway going on right now. If you haven't seen it already, it is the Ava Gutowski and ColourPop collab. I did buy extras and I am hosting a giveaway, so you can get extra entries by going to my Instagram, but also you can just go watch that video, which I will link in an info card right up here if you want to check it out. To preface this video, I did use the Jeffree Star Blood Sugar palette. To be quite frank, I don't know any other palettes that have similar shades to these. So if you don't have this palette or if you don't buy from Jeffree Star Cosmetics, I apologize. I know you could find dupes out there. I'm not aware of them. And I know it's currently sold out, but he did announce that it was going to be a permanent part of his makeup line, so it will come back into stock at some point. Just follow Jeffree Star Cosmetics or Trend Mood on Instagram. This is the longest intro already, and I highly apologize. Let's just go ahead and get right on into things. Today we are starting with the eyes first, which I know I never do, but I had to practice, so that's why I look crazy right now, and I kind of look sick because one eye is red and the other is not. So we're gonna jump on into the eyes and then move on to the rest of the face. Today we are using the Jeffree Star Blood Sugar palette. It is currently out of stock, but he did say it was permanent to his collection, so it will be coming back. Follow Trend Mood or follow Jeffree Star Cosmetics to get that info. But that is what I use to create this look. So I'm first gonna start off with Sugarcane right here and mix a little bit of this pinky shade called Tongue Pop. And I'm not gonna use the obnoxious mirror. Like, the packaging's so obnoxious. Anyways, we're putting this into the transition area. That is kind of how I started the last one. And then I just put a little bit down, and then I go back in with just Sugarcane, which is that lighter shade, and just kind of blend it on top. I don't wanna lay down like too much pink yet. The hard part about doing your eye first and then coming on camera is just remembering everything you just did. So now I'm taking just a little bit more of Tongue Pop, which is the lighter pinky shade, and blending it through the crease as well. Just adding a little bit more depth and pink. Obviously this look is going to be very red and pink. This is where things get a little tricky. I am taking this more like fluffy domed, I can't even tell you, I'm not a makeup artist, I just try. We're going into Cherry Soda, which is this shade right here. This comes off a lot pinkier than it looks in the pan. So I am just sticking it really on the outer V and into the crease. This is gonna help us add a lot of depth initially to this look. I might have to like go into both eyes while I'm doing the second eye just to like make them match if they don't match perfectly, but I'm trying, I think I'm doing all the steps that I did last time. I'm just taking that first brush and like sweeping it across just to make sure everything's well blended. Next, I'm going into this shade right here, which is called Fresh Meat. I absolutely despise that name, not just because I'm a vegetarian, just because I think it's disgusting, like fresh. Anyways, I think it's gross. But yeah, that's the shade we're taking, and kind of just keeping this on the outer third area. I'm just bringing it like a little bit onto the lid, but really just kind of on the outer third area. We're deepening things up. We're giving our eye a little bit more shape. I always say we when it's just me doing this look, but you guys know what I mean. And we're just laying it there kind of gently. This shade has a lot of pigment to it, so like you don't need to go in super harsh. I'm just taking a brush we used before and helping everything blend. And then taking the other side of that brush, I mixed a little bit of Extraction here with this shade we already used called Cherry Soda, just to deepen up like right at my lower lash line. So I just took both and just like placed it right here. It gives us this really gorgeous like really deep fuchsia like look. Okay, now jumping into Cherry Soda once again. I am just placing a little bit of that on the lid like I did over here, but saving most of the lid for my favorite shade in this palette, the shade that inspired me to to do this look. Now we are going into Prick, which is that like neon reddish color. Unfortunately, it doesn't have a lot of pigment, but I think that's because he made it vegan. Anyways, I'm tapping this and pressing this all over the lid, like the inner third into the middle. Anyway, so there's like a ingredient that a lot of companies use called carmine, I believe, which people put in red or purpley pigments or lipsticks because it helps hold the color and it makes the color a lot more pigmented. And he likes to have his shadows vegan, which I highly appreciate. So it doesn't have a ton of pigment, but it's not hard to layer up either. So I'm just like going in with a couple of layers. You could use like a setting spray or a mixing spray to make it a little bit deeper. It's totally up to you, but I really like the look without it. Taking a little bit more of cherry soda and bringing it into the crease a little bit further because I kind of have it a little bit in there on the eye I already did. And then I'm taking my original brush here and blending upwards on the transition area and the crease area just to make sure that everything looks well blended, looks snazzy, looks snatched, all the above. So obviously this is like an all matte look, which I never do. As you can see, there's a little bit of residue of eyeshadow on my lower lash line over here. It's just because I was testing things out and I tried to wipe it off, and this eyeshadow palette does kind of stain your eyes. Keep that in mind, I guess. I don't have really any left. It's just a little bit of a stain. I gotta put in my bobby pins now. The way my hair falls, it just like won't stay out of my face if I just like brush it behind my ear. So I have to put in those bobby pins. So I think the eyes look fairly similar. So I'm just gonna go on into the rest of the face now. I am going to prime with this Physicians Formula Spotlight Primer. I've been loving this. Like it's a really good primer. If you want the Becca Backlight Priming Filter but you don't want to pay for it, like I think it's 38 bucks, you should just go get this because it's like literally so similar. It just doesn't smell good. Like the Backlight Priming Filter smells like amazing, and I will say this has, you can kind of visibly see a little bit of glitter after you rub it into your face, whereas the Becca Backlight Priming Filter, you really don't see glitter after you rub it into your face. However, with this one, even though you see glitter on your face, once you put foundation on or powder on or concealer on, you can't see it anymore. I am obviously taking my Smashbox primer water and then letting that just sit and dry down, and then moving on into foundation. So I have these Josie Maran Vibrancy Foundation little samples. I think I got it as a sample from a Sephora order or something like that. I've never tried these before, and I've heard really good things about the foundation. I know like a year ago it was pretty big. Like I think Jaclyn Hill was using it. Another YouTuber named Brianna White was using it. If I could open these. Anyways, this is what I'm gonna use today. I think if I mix these two foundations, it'll give me a pretty good. Please tell me you just saw that. That literally shot all over my face. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna zoom you guys in. Do you see a splatter on my lip? Splatters all over my face. I hope they didn't go on my eyeballs. No, they didn't. And by eyeballs, I meant eyelids. Do you see that? That's funny. Okay, let's move on. Just probably gonna leave those there since I'm gonna put more foundation on top, but the foundation on my lips does not need to be there. This is shade Euphoric RG20 and Dynamic RG5, and one's like way too light and one's dark. So we'll see what I can do with these. Got my trusty beauty blender and let's blend. Pretty medium coverage on the first go. If you're looking for a medium coverage foundation, maybe go to Sephora and get a sample of this. This is super dewy and luminous. I think it has like the argan oil in it though, so it makes sense. I think like all of Josie Maran's stuff has argan oil in it. So it looks super dewy and luminous. I love that. Obviously I do have to set certain areas or add concealer to certain areas, so let's do that now. I've been loving these Makeup Revolution. Well, they did change their name to just Revolution, but these Revolution Conceal and Define concealers. Some people relate them to the Tarte Shape Tape, which I can understand. However, they are, in my opinion, a little more creamy than the Tarte Shape Tape and a little less, not as full coverage, not as thick, which I actually like. But if you want something a little bit more full coverage, you might have to go in with a couple of, like a second layer of this or lots of product. With like a normal amount of product, you'll get like medium coverage, but it is very like skin-like. It doesn't look like you have a bunch of product on, if that makes sense. You guys ever, sometimes when you're doing your makeup, see like a hair on your nose in your like eye view, but you can't actually find, oh, I found it. It takes me like forever to actually find it to get it off though. I feel like this foundation is kind of washing me out, like maybe it's a little too pink for me. But we can just, you know, add bronzer and stuff to make it look better. I'm going to set my under eyes with the Cover FX Loose Perfect Setting Powder. Used to be like my all-time fave. It's still a good one, I just don't use it as much anymore. And if I put concealer on top of blemishes, I will set them down with the loose powder as well, just because sometimes I feel like it makes them last longer. And then I always set my nose with loose powder, because either that or a mattifying powder, because that is the only place on my entire face that I get shiny. And lately I've really been going back to the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Palette. This has always been a fave. I've had it for a little over a year, but like I used to use it like crazy, and I still used it on occasion, but I've been going back to this because I just feel like every powder besides like my Charlotte Tilbury powder and even my glossy powder I still really love, but every powder is just making my face look so powdery lately, and I just want to look like dewy and fresh. So yeah, this powder does that because it's literally like a filter in a powder form. It's the sheeniest powder. I don't even know if that's a word, but it's the sheeniest powder ever. It is so stunning, and it just makes your skin look like you have a Instagram filter on, like you face tuned your face. Okay, really fast, I'm going to do some eyebrows. Well, it's not gonna be really fast, it's gonna take me a lifetime and a half, and then I'll be right back with you guys. We'll finish the eyes, and then we'll move on to the rest of the face, and then we'll be done. Okay, my eyebrows are on. They are a little darker today because I did dye them last night, which is a good thing, because then it makes my eyebrows, like it literally cuts the time in half that it takes me to do my eyebrows. I'm gonna do a little bit of contouring / bronzing with this Urban Decay Beach Bronzer in the shade Bronzed, and then I'm going to do a little bit of bronzing with a bronzer afterwards. But I really like this bronzer a lot. I love the color, and I love the consistency. It's really pretty. And I like never contour, but since this is more of like a glam, colorful look, I feel like I need to do a little bit of contouring as well as bronzing. And I love to try and cover up that double chin, darken it so it doesn't look as crazy, and then bring some on the sides of my forehead. This bronzer really blends super easily. I highly recommend this bronzer. It's pretty new to my collection, but my friend Anna here on YouTube loved it. Anyways, I've seen her use it in a bunch of videos, and I was like, okay, maybe I need that. I'm just going to use that same Urban Decay bronzer to bronze up and contour the nose, and take a little bit underneath the bottom lip. For my bronzing up, I'm going to take the Too Faced Sweethearts bronzer in the shade Baked Luminous Glow Bronzer. This is such a classic bronzer. This is a bronzer I've had for, I think maybe 2 years now, and I've always loved it. But I'm gonna use this obnoxious mirror because when I bronze up, I like to have a huge mirror so I can really see what I'm doing. And so this is the biggest one that's closest to me. The funny thing is I still haven't decided what lip color I can wear with this look, so that will be interesting. But I feel like I really have to bronze up for this look so that I don't look like washed out and pale AF with these eyes. Okay, now I'm going to finish off the rest of my lower lash line. Well, I'm gonna finish off my lower lash line, and I'm just going, it's kind of simple. Let me grab my brush though. So as I was saying, fairly simple, but it's a little bit fun and different. So I'm gonna take this shade called, what is it called? Cavity. It's this like hot fuchsia. I've never used this kind of a color on my eye before, but it is so pretty. And this is the other shade that was just giving me so much inspiration. And so I'm just going to sweep this along the lower lash line. I don't want to be precise because really my inspiration for this look was more editorial than like makeup artist perfectness, you know what I mean? So I'm just kind of like sweeping it along the lower lash line. Just really wanted to add that like this like eye look kind of reminds me of like candy I just really wanted to add those like fun, bright colors. And then to really give it more of a purple pop, I'm going to take a smaller brush and take this shade right here, which is called Root Canal, and it's like a hot purple. It kind of reminds me of Jeffree's Velour Liquid Lipstick and You Better Work, but this is kind of more a cool tone. And I'm just keeping this closer to the lash line and more on the outer third of the eye. It's so weird. I like never do all matte eyes, and even when I do all matte eyes, I like don't use these colors obviously. So you guys know normally I'd use like an orange or peachy blush because that's just what I use regardless, but I'm just slightly concerned about the eye look. So I'm using this Too Faced Sweethearts Perfect Blush in the shade Peach Beach. I know it says Peach Beach, but it's honestly more of just like this like neutral, really pale, warm look to your cheeks, so it works with like any eye look. And I love having blushes with sheen, so give me all the sheen. Give me all the glowiness. Okay, for highlight, I am going to go into this ColourPop, what is this called? The Gimme More Highlighting Palette. And I'm going to take, I think, just like a mixture of these two shades, which are called Extra and Full Service down here. And yeah, we're gonna highlight. I'm gonna take my favorite, one of my favorite highlighting brushes, which is called the ColourPop F5. I think it's like called the small fluff brush, but like F5 is the number. And we're gonna go in. And we're gonna hit that top of the forehead right there. I guess that's not the top of the forehead, but I guess top of the brow, you could say, forehead. Whatever. And then I think I actually want to use a shade in the Blood Sugar palette to highlight the brow bone and the inner corner, because even if I do an all matte eye, I still like to use shimmer there, but there's not really light enough shimmer, so maybe not. But I do want to matte highlight my brow bone, so I'm going to take a mainly, what is this called? Glucose, which is the white shade, but maybe a little bit of sugarcane just to make it not so white. And we're going to highlight the brow bone because I always matte highlight my brow bone. I just like have to. Okay, then jumping back into the ColourPop palette, I'm gonna use those same exact shades to highlight my brow bone and my inner corner. Okay, really quickly, I'm gonna add some mascara, but before I do that, I need to set my face. And I'm just going to use some of the Smashbox water. And for an extra layer of dropped my brushes. And for an extra layer of hydration, you guys know how much I love this, I'm gonna use this as well. Give it to me, Mario Badescu. Okay, now I'm gonna do mascara. I'm probably gonna use this NYX Worth the Hype mascara. I'm gonna do it off camera because you guys don't need to see me apply mascara, but I'll be right back, and hopefully I'll have a lip choice by then because I'm still stumped. So here's the thing. I was literally looking around for 10, maybe 15 minutes for a lip color for this look, and I finally found one, and I forgot to hit the film button, so I really apologize, but I'm gonna tell you what I use. I use this Flamingo, it's literally called Flamingo-O exclamation point. This is a Marc Jacobs, what is this called? The liquid lip crayon. And I just like used a little bit and dabbed it all over. And then I went in with my Kylie Cosmetics Dirty Peach lip and also kind of did the same thing. I wanted something really bright that would complement the eyes, but that wouldn't take away from it. And I feel like this is the only thing I could come up with. I literally swatched like 15 different lipsticks on my lips, wiped them all off. They weren't good enough. This is what's good enough. I really like it. And it's really bright and way out of my comfort zone, but I really like what I put together. So yeah, guys, this is our final look. It is so fun and so like, I would wear this if like there was an event or something fun going on, but obviously like to work, I wouldn't wear this, which if you do, like rock it, girl. I wish I could be as strong as you. But this is super fun. I really like the way this came out. It's not something normal for me, but I think that's why I love it even more, because it's just so fun and so like, ugh, I just love it. Okay guys, thank you so much for watching today. I really appreciate it and I love you guys so very much. I hope you enjoyed today's video. I'm obsessed with this look. I truly just had a lot of inspiration. To be quite honest, this palette gives me so much inspiration. Like, I've never had a palette that has anything similar to this. The reds, the pinks, like it really just gives me a lot of inspiration, and I really like that because lately I've been pretty lackluster in the inspiration department. I've just been really loving really plain eyes, but Today, obviously, I did the opposite of that. So this outro doesn't get too long. I just want to say thank you. I love you guys very much. Thanks for sticking around till the end. Check out my social medias if you like, and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. I really appreciate it. I love you guys so very much. Have a great morning, noon, evening, day, night, whenever it happens to be that you're watching this video, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.